and today we're going to be looking at Kingdom Story Films. But he makes some interesting videos on hidden symbols in the Bible that just more profoundly shows that the Bible is just not some mere book. The Bible is truly inspired by God. This is not no mere chance that this book is just like any other book. It's about jewels, precious stones. Let's go.
It turns out that these jewels actually prove that God exists. How? A recent scientific discovery regarding these jewels taught us all something only God himself could have known. Watch this. You are tasked with the job to build heaven. Here are 28 common jewels, and you get to choose 12 of these jewels to build heaven's foundation with. But here's the catch. Apparently, only 12 of these 28 jewels have a certain characteristic that you can't see with the naked eye. So you have to choose the 12 correct jewels in a row without getting a single one wrong. If you choose correctly, for all eternity, heaven will look like this. But if you choose incorrectly, heaven for all eternity will look like this. So what's the characteristic that makes these 12 jewels specifically shine like this? Well, I'm not going to tell you, because Moses didn't know, John the Apostle didn't know. They didn't know this characteristic existed because they didn't have the technology to look for this. Okay, so I'm about to reveal the 12 correct jewels, so go ahead, choose your 12. And remember, they've all got to be 12 in a row perfectly, otherwise heaven will look like a movie from the 1920s. For all of eternity. Think you can do it? Seems impossible, right? Because it is. We can't go by appearances by what we see with our eyes. This is something only the one who made the gemstones would know. Something that only an all-knowing God could have orchestrated. Here are the 12 jewels that you had to choose. So how do these jewels prove God exists? Well, where do we see jewels in the Bible? There's jewels in Eden, the book of Genesis, Isaiah, Malachi.
He's going to go to Revelations, I believe. Because Revelation, I believe, does talk about every stone that is in heaven, or even on the crown of Christ and on the throne and whatnot, possibly.
Proverbs, Ezekiel, and Song of Solomon all talk about jewels. But I want to focus on two other passages that have this crazy connection, because these are the jewels that prove God exists. The first one is in Exodus with Moses and the tabernacle. There were 12 jewels on the breastplate of the high priest. And the second one is in Revelation. There are 12 jewels that make up the foundation of the New Jerusalem. The 12 jewels on the priest's breastplate matched the 12 names of the sons of Israel, and the 12 jewels of the New Jerusalem foundation match the 12 names of the apostles of the Lamb. 12 jewels, 12 colors, 12 names. Now this isn't the part that proves God's existence yet, but it's a cool connection. These 12 jewels and 12 names and their connection to the high priest in the New Jerusalem, that would mean the New Jerusalem is founded on the high priesthood of Jesus Christ. Now the names of the gemstones on the breastplate of the high priest are very close to those listed in Revelation. However, depending on which Bible translation you use, they don't match perfectly. But it would make sense that they would match perfectly, because that just seems like something God would do. But the reason they don't is probably because John wrote Revelation in Greek, while Exodus was written in Hebrew a long time before that. And then we've translated them both to English thousands of years later, so some of it might have been lost in translation. For example, if we have a green jewel sitting in front of us, some of you would call it a sapphire, others would call it a jade, still others would call it a garnet, when in reality, it's actually an emerald. So even though we're all looking at the same thing, we all described it by a different name. So some of that linguistically could be happening. Also, the names of gemstones have changed over the past 3,000 years. For example, the ancient Greek word sapphairos actually referred to lapis lazuli, but many modern translations use sapphire because the words are phonetically identical. Also in the first century, any hard green stone might have been called an emerald, and any yellow stone might have been called a topaz, even if that wasn't actually what they were. So translators are then tasked between choosing the literal ancient name or the modern equivalent that matches the color.
And who said God wasn't fancy? Who said God didn't care about the bling bling? Yes, man. Precious stones reveals God's character. It's due to sin that abundance in material things could corrupt our hearts and those things. But in the kingdom of God, abundance in jewels and abundance in stones and abundance in the things that God has made is wonderful. It's precious.
So a famous example of this is the Timur ruby, which had the names of many powerful conquerors and leaders inscribed in it over the centuries because this ruby was so valuable. The only problem was it wasn't actually a ruby. Everyone believed it was a ruby for hundreds of years, all the way until 1851, when it was discovered that this jewel was not actually a ruby, but was instead a spinel. Also take a look at this chart where the NIV shows different names of gemstones as compared to the King James, the ESV, and the NASB. Regardless of all this, there's a massive connection between the high priest's breastplate in the Old Testament and the New Jerusalem in the New Testament due to the 12 names on the 12 gemstones in both cases. Now,
I believe it was a good thing that he just did that because people could come out and say, oh, you see, you can't believe what the Bible is saying, all the different changes. No. He's just showing the discrepancies between translations over time. Doesn't mean that the stone is different.
All 8 billion of us people on Earth would love to get our hands on these rare, expensive jewels.
But Proverbs 3:15 tells us that wisdom is more precious than jewels, which is why we created an app which is called Kingdom Story Films that holds the treasure and wisdom of God. It has a 365-day video devotional that dives into the deep things of God, much like you see in this video. It also has the entire Bible as a movie where you can watch, read, and listen to the entire Bible all in one place with sound effects, music, and it takes you through the entire Bible in cinematic form. Search up Kingdom Story Films in your app store today to get started. Now going back to the Old Testament, inside the tabernacle where the high priest would enter, it was completely dark except for the light of the lampstand. Imagine how the light from the menorah would pass through the gemstones on the priest's breastplate. The colors would be dazzling and flashing in every direction. It's quite the sight, but that is just a small glimpse of what the New Jerusalem will be, as the entire foundation of the New Jerusalem will be made of gemstones reflecting the light of the glory of God. So not just a little flickering light from a lampstand. This is going to be the light of the glory of God through these.
As he said that, what came to my mind is like, this is me being real. It's like, I can't miss that. Gave me kind of shivers to see the imagery from AI to make it look so wonderful. And even still, the Bible says, no ears have heard, no eyes have seen the things that God has planned for those who love him. Forget what Bible verse, what book it's from, but I know the verse. And to know that even it's going to be greater than whatever production we can do through computers.
Massive jewel foundations. Since we know that Revelation says there is no need for the sun because the glory of God and the Lamb is its permanent radiant light. Can you imagine? Like literally talk about the definition of glory. So now here's the fascinating thing to me that proves the Bible was written by an all-knowing God and not just written by man. Here is the list of the jewels in the New Jerusalem, and most likely, in my opinion, are on the high priest's breastplate too. Jasper, sapphire, chalcedony, emerald, sardonyx, carnelian, chrysolite, beryl, topaz, chrysoprase, jacinth, amethyst. So just recently in modern day, we've discovered how to make light purer than ever before. Most light is just light waves bouncing around, crashing into each other, going in all different directions. So for example, the light coming from the lamp bounces off the wall and can light this side of my face even though the lamp is over here, because light bounces and reflects off walls and surfaces, and light comes at us from all directions. But now we've discovered how to send light in one direction through a laser beam. So we've all seen laser light being straight as an arrow, but we've also got what we call cross-polarized light. A polarized filter allows light through in that same way, but if you put another polarized filter at a right angle, now you've got an extremely fine filter. In the same way, if you put on sunglasses and then you put on another pair of sunglasses at a right angle, it becomes even darker because it only lets straight light through. Now, people have taken jewels and gemstones and cut a very thin slice for microscopic purposes and then shown cross-polarized light through them to see what happens. So one of two entirely different things happens to every jewel. So either the jewel is an isotropic jewel or it's an anisotropic jewel. Now what happens is this. Some jewels in pure light, whatever their color may be, red, blue, or green, these jewels turn into all the colors of the rainbow in the most fantastic patterns. Those are the anisotropic jewels. Other precious stones in pure light lose all their color and just go black like a lump of coal dust. And it's only in our modern generation that people have discovered this unusual property with laser beams, cross-polarization, and modern technology, because they didn't have laser beams 3,000 years ago to test this. For example, garnets in pure light are nothing. A beautiful, extraordinary, amazing garnet in pure light, nothing. In pure light, garnets just display a lump of coal dust. Opals are also like garnets. Under laser beams, they lose everything. They just turn to a lump of coal. Spinels too, which are extremely beautiful in and of themselves. But when you pass concentrated pure light through them, nothing. These jewels are isotropic. But the other stones that display these beautiful, full spectrum, all the colors through pure light, these are anisotropic. We see this in the rainbow that's around the throne in heaven in Revelation 4.
So now to show you this, I go to the Kingdom Story Films app, click on the Bible movie, then the New Testament, and then scroll down to Revelation and go to chapter 4.
And the one who sat there had the appearance of jasper and ruby. A rainbow that shone like an emerald encircled the throne. Surrounding the throne were 24 other thrones, and seated on them were 24 elders. They were dressed in white and had crowns of gold on their heads. From the throne came flashes of lightning, rumblings and peals of thunder. In front of the throne, 7 lamps were blazing. These are the 7 spirits of God.
So this passage describes the Lord with jewels, and there's a rainbow, full spectrum of light, all around the throne like an emerald. So combining these jewels with God's pure light, there could very well be some anisotropic action going on. So now the probability of choosing 12 anisotropic jewels in a row for the New Jerusalem, the odds of that happening are very, very low. Kind of like choosing my teams for the NCAA March Madness bracket. It's very, very low. Scholars say there's about 28 very common jewels throughout history, and a little over half are anisotropic. So if we were to pick at random 12 gemstones from 28 and have none of them be isotropic, it's almost impossible. Which, even more than this, some of the isotropic jewels are very beautiful. Our eye would naturally be attracted to them. There's no way we wouldn't choose at least one. I mean, if you put this in front of us, we definitely would have chosen a garnet or an opal or a spinel or one of the many other extraordinarily beautiful gemstones, but they're isotropic. They turn into a lump of coal dust under pure light. So as humans would choose these beautiful yet isotropic jewels, but God wouldn't. God didn't. God knew which ones would display the full glory of all the colors through pure light, because he's the one that wrote the Bible. And God wants his New Jerusalem to be an extraordinary kingdom of light displayed through the only jewels that will magnify his light. God builds the New Jerusalem with anisotropic jewels across the board because he is all-knowing. And God is light. You can just imagine how beautiful the New Jerusalem is going to be with God's light shining through these full-spectrum, vibrant, brilliant anisotropic jewels. The materials God uses are going to be vastly more than anything we can imagine. This one thing alone proves that God wrote the Bible, because none of us would have known this. You couldn't sit down Moses and quiz him on which jewels are isotropic and which jewels are anisotropic 3,000 years ago. Moses wasn't getting into his billion-dollar laboratory and shooting laser beams through these things to see which one was what. Moses was simply dictating the instructions given him by God. God and God alone knew since the beginning of time what science has only just discovered now. These 12 jewels, recorded in the scriptures thousands of years ago, prove that God was the author of the Bible and thus the creator of the world. So if you like this video, then you're gonna love this video where I go into how Eden was actually a temple. It's fascinating. We can't make these videos without your support, and the best way to support this ministry is to download the Kingdom Story Films app. And the response to the Bible movies on the app is incredible. There's a lot of free content on there. Check it out. God bless.
I've never heard anybody talk about that before. Never heard anybody talk about that before. Amazing. Of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city of pure gold. And that's, gold, silver, that's another thing that's going to be there. Like unto clear glass, and the foundation of the wall of the city were garnished with all the manner of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third a chalcedony, the fourth an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh crystallite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprasus, the 11th jacinth, the 12th amethyst. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Imagine it. So there's not just these beautiful stones, but there's pearls, there's gold, there's other things that we can't even imagine what it's going to look like. And the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. We can't miss that time, no matter what is going to happen, because we're going to come into a time of this world history that's going to depict whether or not we're saved. And so let's be saved so we can see this day, honestly. And these are the type of findings that people need to be going through, reading, watching, to build up our faith at the same time. This is what builds up the faith of the people. This is what builds up the faith. So I hope you'd enjoy that one. Keep your faith in motion.